The forest bordering Blackwood Valley had always breathed differently at night, as if the trees themselves were alive and listening. Long before Arjun ever stepped foot there, people vanished between those trunks, leaving behind nothing but torn earth and stories soaked in fear. Arjun dismissed such tales as superstition, the kind born from ignorance and isolation, and when he arrived with his camera, he believed he was smarter than the fear that ruled the villagers' lives. He came seeking rare nocturnal wildlife, unaware that something far rarer had already marked him for death. On his first evening, the villagers warned him not to wander after sunset. Their voices trembled when they spoke of the full moon, of howls that shattered sleep, of shadows that walked upright. Arjun smiled politely and ignored them. Fear made people imagine monsters, he thought. The forest, however, had no interest in his logic. The night the moon turned red, the air grew thick and metallic. Arjun ventured deeper than before, following unfamiliar tracks pressed into the mud. They were too large to belong to any known animal, yet oddly human in shape. A distant howl sliced through the silence, low and hungry, freezing his blood. He lifted his camera, heart racing, excitement drowning caution. Then the darkness lunged. A massive form slammed into him, throwing him onto the forest floor. Claws tore through his flesh as yellow eyes burned inches from his face. He smelled rot, blood, and wet fur. The creature's breath was hot, its snarl vibrating through his bones. Arjun screamed as teeth pierced his shoulder, and then the beast vanished, leaving him broken beneath the bleeding moon. He survived only because dawn came. The villagers found him barely alive and dragged him home, terror etched into their faces. They cleaned his wounds, whispering prayers he could not hear. When Arjun woke, pain consumed him, but worse was a change creeping through his body. His heart beat louder, his vision sharpened, and every sound felt amplified. He blamed trauma, shock, anything but the truth clawing its way into his veins. The nights that followed were unbearable. His bones ached as if being crushed from within. His dreams were filled with forests drenched in moonlight, with running faster than thought, with tearing flesh beneath powerful jaws. Each morning he awoke covered in sweat and dirt, unable to remember how he had left his bed. On the seventh night, the transformation began. Pain exploded through his body as his bones snapped and twisted. His spine arched unnaturally, muscles tearing apart and reforming stronger. Fingers stretched into claws, nails ripping free with wet cracks. His jaw elongated, teeth forcing their way outward into razor-sharp fangs. Fur burst through his skin, dark and coarse, swallowing what remained of his humanity. His scream became a howl that shook the forest. When it ended, the Bhediya stood where Arjun once had. The creature ran on four limbs, driven by instinct older than reason. It hunted without mercy, slaughtering animals and tearing through livestock, painting the forest with blood. Villagers barricaded themselves indoors, praying to gods who had long abandoned that land. By dawn, the monster vanished, and Arjuna woke naked and horrified, memories flooding back in violent flashes. He understood then. He was a curse, desperate for answers. He confronted the village elder, who finally revealed the truth buried for generations. Long ago, a man cursed by forbidden rituals became the first Bhediya, doomed to spread the curse through blood. Killing the beast only delayed the nightmare. The curse lived on, always searching for a new host. Arjun chained himself inside an abandoned cabin as the next full moon approached, determined to stop the monster within. The chain snapped like thread. That night, hunters came armed with silver and fire, but fear guided their hands. Bullets tore into the beast's flesh, only to heal instantly. Fire slowed it, silver burned it, but nothing stopped it. By morning, bodies littered the forest. Arjun stood among them, blood dripping from his claws, sanity shattered. He begged for death, but death refused him. Months passed, and Arjun vanished into the forest, choosing isolation over slaughter. Yet the howls never stopped. One night, a wounded child was found, bitten but alive. The villagers understood instantly. The curse had been passed on. Some monsters are not born. They are inherited.